Hi, my name is Steve Fox and I am legally blind. This is my little buddy here, York, my incredible guide dog. Now, I have retinitis pigmentosa. I was diagnosed when I was 12 years old, and I've decided to start telling my story because when I was diagnosed, I still had pretty good central vision and I was coping okay. The people around me thought, oh, he's doing fine. We'll get him some support when he needs it. But the reality is that I would have loved somebody to talk to at the time, somebody who had retinitis pigmentosa, someone who was going through some of the same things that I was going through. It just would have been great to be able to talk to a few people like that. And I didn't get that opportunity. So I've decided to start telling my story, and hopefully that'll help somebody else who's been diagnosed with retinitis pigmentosa, help them to get through what can be a pretty difficult journey. So this is the start of my story. Now, I'm not an expert on retinitis pigmentosa. I don't have any medical qualifications. I haven't been to university and studied low vision or orientation and mobility, assistive technology, any of that sort of thing. All I'm sharing is my own personal lived experience of retinitis pigmentosa. So that's the only thing I really know about. But just to put things into a little bit of perspective, here's some of what Dr. Wikipedia has to say.
Retinitis pigmentosa is a genetic disorder of the eyes that causes loss of vision. Complete blindness is uncommon. Retinitis pigmentosa is generally inherited from a person's parents. Mutations in one of more than 50 genes is involved.
And that's why it's so difficult living with retinitis pigmentosa and trying to explain to people what you're going through, because it's not like your eyesight is on or off. It's complicated. It's so complex. It changes from 1 minute of the day to the next, whether something's in your field of view or not in your field of view. So that's something that I'm going to try to explain, my lived experience with retinitis pigmentosa. Night blindness. Night blindness goes with retinitis pigmentosa, or RP. And it's probably the first thing that I really picked up on, the difference in my sight to other people's. We were playing sport when I was a kid, and I used to hang around under the light like a moth because I just couldn't see. The other kids were running off into the dark, and how were they doing that? I had no idea. Anyway, eventually my parents took me along to see the ophthalmologist, and he quickly diagnosed me with retinitis pigmentosa. And the night blindness, well, it grew steadily worse as I got older, until now I can't see at all in any kind of dim light. Anything less than perfect light, I can't see. I don't see blackness anymore when it's dark because I have, I think they call it Charles Bonnet syndrome. I have the constant flashes of light and flickering effect. I know they're not real, but they're there all the time. It is a little bit disturbing for some people. I think I'm kind of just used to it now, and it doesn't bother me too much. But yeah, night blindness is a difficult thing to deal with. I drove a car for a little while. Obviously I couldn't drive at night. Social settings, you go out to a pub or a club or something and you're all fine while the lights are on. Then to set the mood, they turn the lights down and all of a sudden you're blind completely. And it's even in a crowd of people, in a room full of people, it's amazing how alone you can feel when you can't see, when you're totally blind. So, it is isolating. It makes it difficult in certain circumstances, night blindness, but it goes hand in hand with retinitis pigmentosa. Tunnel vision. Tunnel vision is a really difficult thing to deal with. It is like looking through a tunnel, but then again, it's not. It's not like you've got a little piece of vision in the middle and there's blackness around the outside. That's not what it's like. Your brain has this way of marrying in what it can't see to fit what it thinks should be there. So if I'm in bright light, then all my peripheral vision is all bright. There's no detail, but my brain says, oh, that's what it should look like. But there's nothing there for me. Most people have about 170 or 180 degrees of vision, so they can see what's out to the side and what's on the ground in front of them as they're walking along without even trying. And that's what keeps them safe. It just happens automatically for people. Someone comes in from the side, they step just a fraction without even thinking about it. They can just step up a step without even knowing they're doing it. When you have tunnel vision, you get blindsided. Things appear from nowhere because you have no idea what is here. So my vision has come right into just 4 or 5 degrees. I have this tiny piece in the middle. And I say it's like looking at the world through one piece of a jigsaw puzzle, because I can look at something and go, well, what is that? What am I looking at? It makes things really tough. And it's not just your mobility. When you have tunnel vision, you can't see a drink on the table. Even though you're looking at the table, if it's just off to the side a fraction, you reach out with your hand and the drink goes down. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. And that's one of the things that goes hand in hand again with retinitis pigmentosa. My central vision, how does the world look to me now? Well, not very good. It's cloudy, basically now. I can remember when my eyesight was clear and bright. I remember, green grass and the blue sky. That's what it was like when I was young. I went to regular school, played normal sport, got a driver's license at 17, started a career in radio in my 20s, was married in my 20s. Into my 30s, things started to get cloudy. My 40s, my central vision really started to deteriorate. Retinitis pigmentosa, it's a degenerative disease. So I was lucky. My eyesight declined, but over a very long period of time. Some people lose their eyesight very quickly. For me, I had long periods of good eyesight. So now in my early 50s, what do I see? Well, I'm legally blind as far as my central vision goes. I have less than 2200. 20/20 is normal vision. You can see at 20 feet what most people can see at 20 feet. My vision now on the metric scale is less than 660. So I can't see at 6 meters what most people can see at 60 meters. Everything to me is cloudy. I don't see colors anymore. I can't see detail. I don't see faces. I can't read and write without electronic magnification and inverting the colors. Watching TV, use your central vision for that. It's difficult. I can make out some shapes, but I can't really see what's going on. So people say to me, you don't look blind. Well, that's because over a lifetime, I've used my sight. So if I hear somebody coming towards me, I look in that direction. And if they're wearing contrasting colors, I can see an outline or a shape as they get close. If they're wearing colors that match the background, that's a bit more difficult and I might not see them. So in bright light, if there's good contrast, I do have some useful vision, but it's not normal vision. I'm legally blind. There aren't too many people that are blind. That is, they have no vision, no light perception, nothing. I'm legally blind, and I'm lucky that it's taken a long time for me to get there. I'm now in my early 50s, and that's basically my retinitis pigmentosa story, my RP story. Retinitis pigmentosa, it is a lot to deal with, and it doesn't help that most people really don't know what it is that you're going through. You right, mate? So, two things that I wish that I'd done differently. When I was younger, I wished I'd had peer support. I didn't really have any of that, and it's really helped me in the last few years. It helps you go through that grieving process, losing something. There is a real sense of loss that comes with retinitis pigmentosa. And the other one is I tried to fit in for far too long and not accept that I needed to basically live as a blind person. So I was, instead of embracing using a cane and a guide dog and assistive technology, I shut myself in and became closed off from the world for far too long. So I was very independent when I was young. Through my 30s and 40s, I relied far too much on the people around me. And now that I've asked for help and found it, I've got my independence back again. And that's been amazing. It's better for me, it's better for the people around me, and it's something that if you haven't done and you've got retinitis pigmentosa, I would suggest you look into. That's basically all I can say. I don't claim to have all the answers. I don't think anybody has all the answers because everybody's experience with RP is so different. It affects people in so many different ways. But I wanted to tell my story in the hope that it would help somebody. So I hope it helps. And if it did, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. And hopefully we'll be seeing you in our next video. Thanks for watching.